What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? I know everyone is having a legendary day. We got some pretty cool stuff to get to today. I ain't gonna lie, my dreams lightweight came true. This actually just today. We also got some sad news to go over. One of our fellow faithful, a man who, let's be real, gave me my shot at doing NFR. Is going through some tough times, so we're gonna do a little bit of that. But before we get into, we also got a special guest coming on the show. He'll be here in a few minutes. But before we go and do all that, we got to remind everybody to help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link will be in the description of the video or podcast. Go ahead and go to SeatGiant.com and use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Go ahead and follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and Tumblr. At Facebook at Niner Faithful Radio, and on Twitter at Niner Faithful R. We are getting a little bit more active with Twitter. Your boy finally made a Twitter page, so we're going to be active a lot more on Twitter. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. And, of course, stay tuned to the end of the show to get your special 10% coupon code for all Season 2 for the Faithful, by the Faithful apparel. Ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, let's get the show cracking.
Weiss has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana, touchdown, John Taylor.
What's cracking, Jason?
What is up, my man? How's it going today? I know you're feeling good today.
Oh, yeah. You know, any day you wake up a 5-time champion is a legendary day. Especially with, some of the news we got. We see you, Roberto. Good to see you, brother. Thank you.
Always, brother. How you doing, brother?
Carcast 49er Talk. Thank you for showing up, bro. Really,
What's up,
really
Carcast? How you doing, man?
So, Jason, why don't you go ahead and pull up the thing for Farmer?
All right, so you gonna go for it?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right, so I know this guy through TJ. He kind of introduced us and everything. He lives over in the Spokane area. They're having quite a bit of a summer with tons of wildfires and all that kind of shit up here in the Washington. It's over in Eastern Washington, actually. In one of his house actually was burnt to the ground. I've actually seen the pictures of it. He did post them, and man, it is it's pretty much like the only thing left is like the chimney. It's just like I saw it at work, and I just sat there for like a minute, like, damn. You know what I mean? So it was terrible by him, or terrible stuff that's happened to him. I'm going to go ahead and bring up their. They have a GoFundMe right now, and so yeah, like I said, this isn't the. There's other pictures of it online, but that's basically where his house was, and as you can see, there's not much left but the chimney right over here, the side right here, man. So their house is completely gone. So they do have a GoFundMe up and everything. So we're getting all that. They're okay. They got them out. There's nobody hurt. They got all their fur babies out and everything like that. So all of that stuff, they are good. So you can be thankful for that. They have this right now. They've got this wasn't set up by them. I guess it's set up by one of Jacob's or as you call them, farmers, co-workers and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's that. And then they also do have an Amazon list where, they're throwing up random things that they can remember that they're going to need to replace over time eventually. So, you can either donate to the GoFundMe that'll go to them. Like I said, there's the Amazon list. There's just random things that they're putting up there that they're going to need again. So if you guys have anything that can help them out, go for it. It'd be greatly appreciated by them.
Yeah, no, like I was saying off when we were doing the intro and everything like that, if it wasn't for Farmer reaching out and pretty much saying, hey, bro, we got Bryant. Hey, Bryant, we're going to go ahead and get to you in a second. We got to run through some housekeeping shit real quick. But if it wasn't for Farmer, basically, reaching out to me and saying that Radio AFS was looking for someone to do a Niner show, and basically giving my shot. I mean, I had no experience. I literally had recorded one episode on the draft that I eventually deleted because it was absolute garbage. But Farmer saw some potential in me, reached out to me and, gave me my shot, was patient with me while I went through growing pains of trying to, be on the radio. I'm still going through those growing pains. And, also when I decided to step aside and do NFR on my own, no hostility, gave me nothing but best wishes, listens to the show whenever he has opportunity. So Farmer is a real one. Jacob Farmer, whatever you want to call him, he's a real one. We went ahead and donated a little bit. I'm going to reach out to Farmer personally. And because there's also some things this man's been through that, with his kids and stuff like that, man, this shit is just fucking shitty, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I could be a pretty callous person, sometimes and everything like that. But this one hit me, bro. This one, I was like, fuck, bro. They just built it and everything too, and
yeah, they hadn't lived in it more than a year, I think.
Fuck, bro. Like, what are you gonna do?
I mean, especially I met him through you guys. From you introduced us, and we've talked back and forth on Facebook and shit. I mean, he's a cool cat and everything. So I mean, yeah,
solid dude.
Yeah,
real solid dude. Don't always. Farmer is the perfect person to me that implements what this empire really is. Where politically, me and Farmer might not always see eye to eye. We've gotten into it over some things, but when it comes to him, man, none of that shit matters. It's all about the red and gold. And Farmer's a perfect example of why I love being a part of the empire. Is because you got all people in a world full of hate and just crazy shit that's happening in this world right now. Two people that would have never met, our special guest, I met him on Saturday, would have never met him without this Niners, and I think it's a beautiful thing. So the Empire is going to come through. Farmer and Jeannie are gonna be right, but like Jason said, man, anything you could help, even shooting them a message saying, hey, we're praying for you, brother. Donating some Niner stuff. This man messaged, he commented on, I shared this, and he commented on it. It's like, bro, I've lost all my lifelong Niner stuff. Yeah. And so if beyond houses, beyond all that type of stuff, like sure, people got, homeowner insurance. I mean, man's lost the Niner gear. And so I'll be reaching out to Farmer. We're going to get him some Niner stuff. I'll get him some For the Faithful, By the Faithful t-shirts and stuff like that. Like, because I can't have, it doesn't sit right with me if it's game day and a faithful doesn't have something Niners to wear. Like that.
Yeah, we'll figure out something.
Sit right in my soul. But anyway, was that it, bro?
Yeah, that was all that, and we can go with the other stuff afterwards with your special announcement.
But ladies and gentlemen, without further, I'll let you introduce him, Jason, since he's theoretically your guest.
All right, so
this was happening. Y'all planning all this shit and everything.
You were there. You were talking about it. So anyways, met Bryant a while ago. I've jumped on a couple of his streams. I've seen him in tons of other streams. He's all over the place, hopping in, always trying to help out other people. He's done a bunch of stuff for us and everything so far. And so, like I said, let's bring in the Batman to the 49ers content creator, Bryant Culp. He's got the logo. He's got the logo.
Hey, did y'all see my gift comment?
Yeah, I did.
What's up, Bryant? Good to see you, brother. I told you we were gonna get you on the show, bro.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm always down. You guys ever need a third musketeer, just let me know.
You're always welcome, bro. So getting into Saturday's show, we'll make sure that we get the people can know about your YouTube and all that, and we got the links in the description. But Saturday's game.
Hey, with a face like this, if they miss me, it is what it is, right?
But Saturday's game, Bryant and I pretty much what you would say definitely the full second half. I would say probably midway second quarter. Started watching the game together on Saturday, and I walked away with Saturday's game like, yeah, we got the victory. I mean, y'all still here. What's up, Beto? I see you. You see that my voice is still scratchy and everything. I was going dumb, and I was going psycho and Ronnie Bell. Every time Ronnie Bell got the ball, I mean, man, like I got a man crush on Ronnie Bell. I couldn't even lie to y'all.
I think most of us do.
Right? I was gonna break up this in three parts. The starters. I saw nothing that looked like Brock starter to me. I mean, obviously you want to finish it with a touchdown and like whatever. You know, oh, it was only short passes. That's what Brock does. I didn't see anything that made me think that he won't step on the field and be ready to rock and roll week one.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know it was short, but in that little short bit of time, I was like, hey, this offense is moving the ball just like he was, you know, when he came in last season. You know, he said, bam, bam, bam. Everything was on time. You know, he even those little runs that he was taking, I was like, slide. What are you doing? Don't be taking hits like that.
Yeah. My stomach was, my nuts were in my throat, bro. I couldn't even lie.
Right?
Oh man, I think he totally came out. He showed that he has confidence. The team looks like they have confidence in him. It didn't look like they missed a beat at all. Yeah, you definitely want to see a touchdown at the end, but the sack at the end, it wasn't necessarily a sack. It was more like he was scrambling out and he just couldn't get away. And I guess, yeah, that's by definition a sack, but he wasn't in the pocket. You know, he moved out and he was starting to turn upfield. So, you know, it is one of the things, you know, the drive did stall, but you could see as fast as they started, you could imagine if they would have still continued on with that, you know, 11 guys, they were going to go down and punch it in. The Denver Broncos, they didn't seem to be able to stop them at all.
No. Offensively, it looked like what I expected it to be. I think also you brought something up that you said the team was confident in him. And that's what I was really curious because Jason and I shouldn't speak for Jason. I have said all offseason, fuck what any of us, you know, the Niner fan content creators, the beat writers, fuck what anybody else says on who they think the starter should be. Look at what Kyle is telling you. Now, I don't know about your opinion about it, Bryant, but all last season when Brock was in games, Jason and I were saying Kyle calls the game different. Forget what anybody else says. Kyle is telling you that he's the starter by the way he's calling the game. That was a completely different game plan than he had for Trey Lance and a completely different game plan than he had for Jimmy Garoppolo. Kyle was showing you that he was more confident in Brock. And that's the thing that I was, okay, fine. It's one thing to get him out here, you know, get his feet wet and everything like that. But how is Kyle calling the game? What does Kyle think about him? I mean, Kyle said all the right things and everything like that. But I don't look at what Kyle says. I look at what Kyle does. Because Kyle will show you better than he'll tell you. And to me, that just looked like it could have been week 16 of last season. And he was just calling a game against the Raiders. You know, that was the thing that had me excited. The only drawback, and it's not even offensively, it's more defensively, is I still saw it. And I understand this is kind of what we are known as. We're not really the greatest run defensive and everything like that. But their offense kind of moved the ball down a little willy-nilly down that field on their drive. And I'm not saying, oh, my God, the defense is garbage or anything like that. I'm just a little, you know. And so I'm almost curious to see as we progress in the offseason and into the season, we kind of just assume that the offense is going to struggle and the defense is going to have to hold us. I mean, shit, that's what happened in 2019. You know, some would say the defense held us all season minus what, the Saints game and the two Cardinal games are the only ones in 2019 that you would say the offense carried the team. I'm just saying this might be something to pay attention to, that maybe the offense might have to carry this football team a little bit, especially with, and we'll get into this next after we talk about the game, with Nick Bosa's situation being up in the air. I don't believe the rumors. I'm just going to come out and say that if Nick Bosa is missing any regular season time, like I'm putting this on John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. Well, not so much Kyle Shanahan because really what's Kyle, going to do? But I'm putting that on John Lynch in the sense of I gave him confidence. This whole offseason when it came to Bosa, I've given him confidence. And I said, look, John Lynch, they get these contracts done. We got we got Fred Warner done. We got any player that they've wanted to keep. They've gotten that contract done. We want to keep Nick Bosa. We're going to get this contract done. Give him faith. He's proven it since 2017. We'll get the job done. But if it starts to get into the season, then I'm looking at him like, well, what's the holdup? That would be my thing. Jason, any thoughts about defensive starters, and then we'll get on to the backups.
I'm not. It wasn't good seeing him there, get pushed back on some of those times. But for the most part, until we see the full everybody there, especially with like Nick Bosa and stuff like that, because you could, if you watched how often they were double teaming Hargraves and everything like that, so it's like, okay, they're obviously not. They're not going to be able to do that the entire time. Yeah. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt right now. Especially, I don't know if you saw some of the stuff that I was putting out and what other people were tweeting out, is that Nick Bosa is in New York, where the office of his agent is. So hopefully that is a good sign of something to come.
I didn't see anything on the team website, but before I hopped in with you, bro, in the green room, I was looking to see if John Lynch had a press conference scheduled for this week. I didn't see anything, but this is why I give big props to Graham. Because what did Graham do? Graham could have easily been like, why is Nick Bosa? But what did he say? He said the key information there that made me go from why the fuck is Nick Bosa in New York to, he's in his office, his agents, where his agent's located. Gee, I wonder why he's there. Maybe because they're about to fax paperwork for him to sign and get him on a red eye over to Santa Clara.
Yeah.
So, that's the key information. And so when you're looking for content creators to follow on Twitter, look at information like that, because that's not clickbait. That's giving you the information, the full picture, and letting you decide. Hey, yeah, Nick Bosa is in New York, but also that's where his agent's offices are. That's the key information that makes it go from why is he in New York to, they're probably waiting on the deal to get done. But I think so. I think it gets done because I don't know what it was. I don't know. I don't care what it was. To me, getting in a stalemate with Nick Bosa is retarded when we know he has all the leverage. Because there's not a team in the NFL that if the Niners cut Nick Bosa right now, I don't even think the ink gets dried. I don't think John Lynch finishes the email to the league office before Nick Bosa has signed a contract somewhere else. Like John Lynch hasn't set the send button on the transaction wire before Nick Bosa signed a contract somewhere else. So there's no negotiating power the Niners have. What's up, Tony? Nice to meet you as well over at the game and everything like that. Getting into the backups.
Well,
I think that we could say this. Sam Darnold's the backup, right? I will say this. One more thing about Brock Purdy. He made me realize what we're truly missing watching the backups. Like when I watched Brock play this on Saturday, I said, oh, yeah, that's why the backups are backups and he's the starter. I don't know what it was, but I just felt like I was watching the starting quarterback. It just looked different than when Sam and Trey are playing. I don't know if y'all had that same feeling, but that's just kind of the feeling I felt. I felt like we were watching QB1. To me, when I took away go ahead.
What's Brian think about the whole Nick Bosa situation going on right now?
Yeah. Go ahead. My bad, Brian.
I'm not really worried about him being signed. I think he's going to be signed 35 to 40 million. I think they're going to totally give him a historic contract to make him happy. And I'm taking those opinions and that statement from a guy named Jason Hurley, who is also known as 49er Cap. And he's very, very intelligent. He's been on a couple
he's
times
good.
with me. And he told me 35, 40. So since he said that, I'm like, hey, dude, you know the numbers. So I'm going to take your word above everybody else's. My wife gave me a great fact today, and she said when Jason Hurley says something 9 out of 10 times it's correct, especially when it comes down to the numbers. So if the cap doesn't happen or, something doesn't happen, yeah, I would look at John and Kyle and be like, hey, what happened? Because it kind of seemed like they pushed for Debo last year. But I think the guy right now that we should be looking at or saying what's the holdup, if there is a holdup, because I believe there's a date he's actually coming. I think they got it set in stone. He just doesn't want to be here right now. He's got things
I think so.
That's what I think. He's just keeping a vacation. But the guy I would be upset with if we don't get him signed is Parag. Like I really don't understand it. Like, dude, this is a Super Bowl team, and you're not going to bend over and make sure we get the guys that we. Since Bosa's been on the team, we've been a competitor. And then real quick, I wanted to touch on what you guys were saying about Kyle and the quarterback scheme on the playbooks. When we switched to Mullins because of the injury to Jimmy, do you guys think he started calling a different, offense for Nick Mullins?
Yeah, I think he started calling a different offense.
I don't think it was as aggressive.
It wasn't.
Not like Purdy. It was still conservative, unlike when, it got a much more aggressive with Purdy.
Go look at that Raider game.
With
to me, the game I circle that really made me say, okay, Kyle's calling the game different is that Raider game. I just felt like he does not call that game with Jimmy. He doesn't call that game with Jimmy. I mean, Kyle's not a razzle-dazzle type of coach. I mean, how many real true trick plays, minus the one with CMC, against the Yams when he joined the Triple Crown Club. Besides that game, the only other game I could pick where Kyle, having a running back throw a pass and all that was the Aints game. Was the fourth George Kittle 4th and 2 game. And why does Kyle do that? Because to me that says Kyle was saying I don't think Jimmy can outduel Drew Brees. That's what that's why I thought you clearly saw Kyle pulling out all the stops that game. Well, you go back to that Raider game, same type of style of game. It was clear that it was going to be a high-scoring game. To me, Kyle didn't call out any trickery. To me, it seemed like I'm going to trust my quarterback to execute the offense, make the plays necessary, and we're going to win the game. And so that was just to me. I feel that Kyle calls the game different with Brock. What's up, East Coast Red and Gold? I see you, baby. Love the show, bro. I try to catch it as much as possible. That's actually one that I'm glad hopped on. But him and Johnny Dell. For those who don't know, go subscribe to Johnny Dell, bro. When he does his game day breakdowns, they're absolutely like he has one about Trey right now that I haven't finished, but oh my god, if you're a football junkie, that's the type of podcast for you. I love his film breakdowns. To me, it takes so much of the I don't have to be a football X's and O's nerd to get his videos, especially how he explains them. And like, you are missing out if you are a true 49er content consumer and you are not subscribed to Johnny Dell. Like, Johnny, if you're listening, anytime that you want to come on the podcast, bro, we would absolutely love to have you. Like, that would be awesome. Anyway, so yeah, I'm with you, Bryant. I think that he came in and he has a date and he's going to get away with doing this because he's Nick Bosa. I mean, what are they going to do? What are you going to do to Nick Bosa? Like, he can pretty much do whatever he wants. They should really truly count themselves lucky that Nick Bosa ain't more of a prima donna.
Hey, here's a question: is it too late to tag Nick Bosa? Can we franchise tag him this year?
Well, he has one more year under contract, and I think that's something we need to clarify. Nick Bosa can't play for any. Nick Bosa is not going to play for any other team this year. You know what I'm saying? So unless he wants to hold out the year, which let's be real, he's not that. I don't think he's that type of player. So to me, I would just, because there's got to be something seriously wrong here. Because are you going to let the fact of he's clearly wants better than Aaron Dalton. He wants the guarantees of TJ Watt, and he wants the yearly average of Aaron Donald or above Aaron Donald. Are you going to let that difference be the reason we don't have our best player? Maybe like, who's the best player before Nick Bosa in franchise history? Like, in the past, maybe Patrick Willis? Like, I don't even think Patrick Willis is on the level of Nick Bosa. Patrick Willis wasn't competing for Defensive Player of the Year. Love him. I love Pete Willis. Pete Willis is my second all-time, maybe second or third all-time favorite defensive Niner above BY and Ronnie Lott. But like Patrick, I can't think of the last time we've had this type of impact player on the team. Like, I can't even think of the last time we've had a player like this. What, Charles Haley? On the defensive side of the ball. So I don't understand why you would let that few million be the reason Nick Bosa isn't signed, sealed, and delivered. And
maybe he's asking for more than what. That's wondering. I've heard that thing. Maybe he's actually
okay. And if that's the case, if he wants something crazy like, hey, I want $45 million a year, okay, well, like, yeah, we can't go crazy here. And also the thing about it, where I think that's not being discussed, is Nick Bosa does not seem like a bad teammate. So if you came to him and you said, hey, Nick, we would have no problem giving you 40. But if we give you 40, say goodbye to Brandon Ayuk. Say goodbye to Debo. Say goodbye to George Kittle. Say goodbye to Bam Bam.
That's
Say
kind of
Armstead.
That's kind of the rotation, though, isn't it? Once a player gets,
so
they're only on the team for maybe 1 or 2 more years, and then they're.
I think this is Eric Armstead's last year, but that's a discussion for a later time.
And I think with that kind of mentality, you know, that opens up money for people in the future. So to pay a player 35 to 40 million when the cap's going to go up the next couple of years, the TV is going to bring up the money, and then we're not going to have to. Is there another player coming out of the draft that's going to be able to be anywhere near Bosa?
That's what I'm saying. When are we going to pick that high to get him? That's my thing. When are we going to go 4-12 again? When are we going to go 4-12 again to be able to pick number 2 to draft Nick Bosa?
I got the answer. When we fire Kyle, right?
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like when Kyle's no longer head coach. Let's be real. So that's why also I'm a little bit emotionally attached to Debo and to Nick Bosa and everything, because I remember that 2018 year. So those draft picks are kind of special to me because I remember, you know, going from the high of end of 2017 to the low of Jimmy tearing his ACL. I remember you might know him, maybe you don't, but my old co-host Adam, I remember every week me and him getting on the show just being like, hey, y'all, we know it's tough. Bosa will be worth it. Hey, don't worry, guys. I know it's tough. Bosa will be worth it. Like week after week after week, that's what we just kept telling people, you know, and guess what? Bosa was worth it. But, yeah, I just don't understand. That to me is a mismanagement of the situation. 2 ones, bro, I'm getting at least 4 ones. Like, I am not trading Nick Bosa for no less than 3 ones.
Beto just doesn't want to pay Bosa, it seems.
Yeah, I know. Beto's just like, hey, you know what? I'll put it to you this way. If it means my season tickets get $20 more expensive a month, trade Bosa to the Jaguars. If it means my tickets get $10 a month or $20 more expensive, if it means Nick Bosa gets $40 million and that gets his ass in training camp, I'm willing to spend $20 more a month on my season tickets if it means Nick Bosa is on a plane to Santa Clara right now. Like, I have no problem with that.
If you think about it, you know, throw out that, you know, like, okay, let's trade Bosa. Okay, who's looking? Who's really going to be able to pay him right now? Who's going to be able to give us 2 to 3 first-round picks? I know 4 that would be great, but that's a lot to ask for.
Yeah, nobody's going to give us 4 picks.
No, but to ask somebody to say, okay, would you like to trade for Bosa? What teams really would he potentially even be able to go to? There's not too many market teams that can pay for him that have a losing record. So
what team's Bosa going to want to go? This is my point. Any team that Bosa legitimately wants to go to is not going to be able to afford to pay him. You think Bosa wants to go to the Browns? I mean, him and Myles Garrett, though. Him and Myles Garrett would be dangerous. But I'm saying, you think Nick Bosa wants to go to the Texans?
Why not? The Texans are going to up-and-coming team.
I can see him wanting to reunite with D'Amico.
That could be an option.
Let's be real. If Nick Bosa, if you would say any 2 teams, I would say probably, besides, you know, the Chiefs and serious contenders, would probably be Miami, just because you would say he would want to go back home. Because we're not trading him to an NFC team. No. So it would be Miami and the Chargers, which the Chargers can't afford to pay him anyway. But those are probably the only 2 teams I would really legitimately that aren't championship contenders, serious championship contenders that I would see Nick Bosa wanting to go to. It's basically being like, send me home to Florida, basically. Send me home to Florida, or let me go play with my brother. How about the only 2 teams? And
I don't know.
Miami can't afford him, and I almost said San Diego. LA can't afford him, so Nick Bosa stay. Plus, I swear to God, y'all, I will walk the 3 mile for. I think it might be 5 miles, maybe 7. I don't know. I would walk however many miles it is from my house to Levi Stadium and then kick down John Lynch's door if that happened. Oh, bro, don't tell me that. Don't. Beto, why you got to do that to me? Cause I thought we were homies, bro. Why you got to put that nightmare scenario in my head? Like I became physically ill right now, imagining Nick Bosa in silver and black.
Brian, what were you saying about Bosa?
I don't know if he would go to the Chargers. I know that would be a dream come true for him. But like you're saying, and then I disagree a little bit about them being championship team. They're
no, I said they are not championship team.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I think they are on the verge of being a championship team, especially if you add Bosa there. They got a good quarterback. They got good wide receivers. They have a good running back. That defense would that would just take another step forward. A team that I would not want him to go to, that I think would try to make a swing at him, the Jets.
Yeah, I can see Salah making that. I can see Salah doing that.
Yeah, and that would be real scary because you give Salah, Bosa, and Quentin Williams.
And Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
I'd be less worried about
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Be scary. That definitely would be scary. I've heard a lot of Niners versus Jets in the Super Bowl predictions this year. I've heard of a lot.
I don't think the Jets are going to be that much better with Rodgers. I really don't. I don't understand the hype behind it.
I honestly, I think they're hoping that it turns into Matthew Stafford, but I'm with you, Jason. I don't think if everything goes well and he's happy, sure. But what happens if they start 3-3 and Aaron gets a little prickly? It's easy when it's kumbaya and everything's all well and good. But how is it going to be when Aaron looks at the offensive coordinator and pretty much says, "I ain't running that shit"?
Well, that's kind of why they brought him there, though, because he's technically like the offensive coordinator.
Well, I get it, but like,
he is.
I don't know. I've spoken to. I remember you talking about your wife, Jason, and everything like that. And I've spoken to a few more Whacker fans that like they miss the winning, but they're not necessarily sad to see the end of them. I'm just
pretty much everybody I know, including my wife, who's a huge Packer fan, and I know quite a few other people who are Packers fans. They're like, we're like, even if they suck and Jordan Love ain't it, they are okay with that. They're like, we're just tired of him. Too much drama.
Especially considering that, like he only won that one championship. Yeah, see, same. All right. So defense, backup wise, getting back to the game on Saturday, is Sam Darnold the backup quarterback? Because honestly, truthfully, I think so.
Go ahead, Bryant.
At this point, I think he is, but it's going to make a lot of people mad. I don't really care what it's going to make people mad or not. I think it's what's best for the team. I can't tell you that Trey Lance or Sam Darnold, either one of them would be a bad backup, or it's a bad decision to rotate either one of them into the spot. I think the only hesitation that they have is maybe they're hesitant on how fast Trey starts the game. We've seen 2 preseason games where he's kind of come out, been a little shaky at first, and then settled down. We've seen a couple of real games where he's done the same thing, and we can't always wait. Like the Texan game, that's the game everybody wants to say, "Oh man, he played this well," right? Well, if you go back and you look at the Texan game, he had one really big throw to Debo, and Debo cut across the field and ran it up and scored. I mean, other than that, he had like 170 yards passing. It's not the biggest numbers in the world, and I'm not knocking it. I'm not going to say I can go and do it, but at this point, it does seem like Sam Darnold looks very calm out there in our offense, and I think that's what's really eerie about it is he looks very confident and calm, really calm, because he hasn't been on our team. And he's been on 2 other teams, and he's learned other playbooks. So for him to come into ours and learn it or be as calm as he is, that maybe that's showing how many years he's been in the league. And, I know a lot of people say he sees ghosts and that's a knock on him and stuff. A lot of players say that, but he was actually recorded, on video and stuff saying it. So that's what, shout out to, NFL Network and stuff. You kind of ruined a man for life for that.
Yeah, right.
But he'd have to win a Super Bowl for people to back off of that, But I don't know. I think Trey Lance is doing good too. He definitely showed up in this game. Trey Lance and Sam had a pick, so you can't really, justify either way and say this guy did better, But the whole thing is everybody's still screaming, Trey, this is our guy. His ceiling's up here. Well, we traded.
Kyle, not to cut you off, bro. Not to cut you off, but I don't think Kyle is interested in ceiling. I think he's interested in the floor. And if you ask me right now, who has a higher floor, Sam Darnold or Trey Lance? I would say Sam Darnold. I think that the lows are going to be low.
100%. I disagree.
As of what we've seen, not what we've seen from 55 starts, what we've seen in the 2 preseason games and the 2 practices I watched as a 49er quarterback, compared to what we've seen of Trey. Now, obviously, what I'm basically trying to say is I eventually thought at this point throughout training camp and the preseason that we would have seen Sam Darnold that we all saw. I eventually said when I came on air and it said, I think Trey will be the backup because I think Sam Darnold will be Sam Darnold. I just think we're going to see the same old. But now that I haven't seen the same old, and if I step back and remove myself and say, hey, what do I think is the best thing for my football team right now? It's, Brock, knock on wood, but Brock goes down week 1, and we got to, we still got a season that we got to compete. Week 1, now holla at me later in the season when Trey's had more practice, more reps, et cetera, it might be different. But I think that I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Sam Darnold be Sam Darnold. Now, fine, it's against backups. We don't know what it would be like when it's TJ Watt bringing down your neck, and everything like that. So I'll give him some credit. And same thing with Trey. When I removed myself from the emotion and the wanting Trey to succeed so bad, I wanted Trey to succeed on Saturday. When I removed myself, I had to tell myself it was against people that will be security guards and UPS drivers in a couple weeks. Like, we have to take that in consideration. But what excited me was, I don't care who it was, he did not look like a deer in the headlights. You saw, once he got in the rhythm of the game, you saw progression or progress from Trey. I was talking about Trey.
Oh, Trey, I thought you were still talking about Sam. I was like,
no. I saw that Trey Lance improved between week 1 and week 2. Now, what would you say? Well, what would he need to prove to make him a legit conversation in the backup category? Do it again. Give it to me 2 weeks in a row. Give it to me 2 weeks in a row, Trey. If you can
give
show
him the
me
starters.
Huh?
Give him the starters.
Perfect. Give me 2 weeks consistency with some starters. And yeah, because really, truthfully, I believe if it's equal, now I know you disagreed with this, Jason, but if it's equal, I believe you give it to Trey because you have more invested in Trey. If all things are created equal, I say you give it to Trey. Because ideally, what are we talking about? We're talking about our backup quarterback. That, let's be real, if we got a legit shot to win the Super Bowl this year, I don't think it's a coincidence. At this point, it's the best thing to part ways. Trey deserves the opportunity against his West, and that won't happen in San Fran.
Yeah.
Beto, for Trey Lance, the person, I 1,000% agree with you. What is best for Trey Lance, the quarterback, is to get traded. Go to Minnesota, go to Jacksonville, go to Miami, go somewhere where you can have time. Go to the Colts. Go to the Colts or somewhere where you're going to have some time to either develop and play.
I don't think any of those teams he would get the chance to play right now. He wouldn't. The
Vikings I was just naming some teams.
Miami has Tua. The Colts have Anthony Richardson. So he would have to go somewhere like maybe New York. He could probably beat out Daniel Jones. I think he could beat out Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. So like, who else?
I don't think this season. I don't think he's beating out.
I hate to say it, but he could be a better
Next year.
version of Geno Smith in Seattle.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, send him to fucking Las
They're
Vegas
not
and he
gonna-
can beat out
they're not
Jimmy.
gonna take Seahawks.
No, I'm just saying, but you know, there's of those teams that you listed, like with that, as far as those teams go, he's not going to get playing time behind any of those, unless one of those guys go down with injury.
I don't see Brian Allen being better than Trey Lance. There's nothing at practice that made it seem. So to me, it's malpractice.
Damien?
Malpractice. I seen that.
Brandon Allen came out and he had more poise and he had more of a sense of calmness in the pocket than Trey did either. And this is the Raider week 1. He didn't get to play week 2, but he's been a backup quarterback for the Bengals for a while. He knows what to do. And again, it's not that Trey can't learn this. It's not that Trey doesn't have the ability.
We've seen it.
This is the answer, and this is what everybody has to just swallow and decide in yourself. Are you willing to give Trey Lance 1 to 3 years of bad seasons with this roster? With, you know, ideally, just keep in the back of your head, we're not going to make the playoffs or we're not going to make the Super Bowl, because ideally we are giving him 1 to 3 years to, you know, come into his own. We don't have that roster where we can wait. In 3 years,
you tell that to Trent Williams, he's retiring.
Exactly, and that, I think everybody says, "Oh, well, the locker room really likes Trey Lance." Yeah, they do, but they don't want to wait for his development so they can get a ring. By the time he's ready,
like I mean, you know, you think that the NFL is such a never promised shit. You're not promised the next snap, let alone the next year. You know, so like, pedos, it's God level trolling.
According to Shanahan, we could all be dead by Sunday. So
I'm just saying, you know, we don't even know if we're gonna be alive tomorrow. God, that was one of my favorite Shanahan quotes ever. God, I love watching his press conferences, especially the ones with him and Lynch, because like, you know, I love the little like. I remember which I think it was the draft one, or no, it was the end of the season one or something like that. They're like, "Hey, you know, John, do you think you'll be back again?" And he looked at Kyle and he goes, "You good?" Like, you know, just kind of like I just thought it was a kick. But to me, I just feel like, why would you trade Trey? Why? When you tell me every year but 2019 we've played more than 3 quarterbacks. Why would you go like for Brian Allen? Really? So you're going to trade Trey Lance, not even know what he is. You know, not even know what he is.
Well, TJ, they know who he is. They've seen him in practice for years. They know what he's doing in the meetings. You know, they know his jokes. They know his personality. They believe what he can do and what he can't. But when they've seen it, and like you said, and I think or Jason said it, we need to see him do the little things. We know you can throw the ball down the field, but we need you to do the little things where we're going to we're going to go down the field and chew up a bunch of clock time by doing these slants and these little run plays. You're going to come out and throw a big bomb, and then the defense has to get back on the field. A lot of people are like, that's not how it's going to be all the time. That's how it's going to be. If you can't throw the little
because what's going to happen? Kyle's going to set him up with the easy layup to make it 2nd and 4. He's going to miss it, and 2nd and 4 is going to turn into 2nd and 10. It's going to turn 3rd and 8, and now all of a sudden we're behind the 8 ball. Exactly. I mean, that's essentially what happened with the Raiders game.
Yeah, you just can't.
You know, that's essentially what happened. Shit, that's what happened at the Bears game.
So this is another question I wanted to ask you.
He said,
you have Trey Lance and all the capital that we traded up for him. He was number 1, you know, 1st round, 3rd overall selected, right? What was Sam Darnold? 1st overall.
No, he was 3rd.
They're both 1st round. They're the same thing, right? So we paid for the capital for Trey. Like, we don't owe any more draft picks or any more years. So by us bringing in Sam Darnold, who's eventually, or you know, basically the same in stock, I don't know, guys. I don't think they're really looking at the draft.
I think Sam was
looking at talent.
I think Sam was like, yeah, it's a competition. Wink, wink. I think that's what Sam was doing. You will not convince me that Now that's fine because I still think that if I was Trey's dad and they said, "Hey, Dad, they set me up. This ain't even a real competition." I know what I would tell Trey. I'd be like, "All right, we'll make it one." Show him on the field. But anyway, since Beto made this genius one, now I will say this on the video that I was clearly drunk. I mean, you could. I said that video of Jake Moody's last field goal to our group, and I mean, you could tell I'm pretty feeling myself by that point. Bryant, you and I sat next to each other watching Jake Moody's field goal. Were you 1,000% confident that as it went towards that right post, did you think it was going to sneak in? I did. I honestly thought it was going to sneak in, but I was a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie. Are you 1,000% confident that when Jake Moody lines up for a field goal, it's going in?
No, I'm not, and I'm not even for any player. I'm not 1,000%. I'm not. I'm not. But
Robbie, I was 999.
I was definitely hoping for that Cinderella ending. I kind of got a little irritated that they weren't trying to just punch it in at the end. But
yeah, I kind of felt like we really could have got a touchdown there. Kyle was clearly setting it up for Jake to.
That was complete setup.
He admitted it that he didn't expect TDP to break off that last big run and make it closer. He was trying to line him up for a 40-yarder and basically say, "All right, well, win us the game."
At the end, like we had the missed PAT, then they went later and they scored, and they got a big sack, or it was the penalty because of Ayuk and all the other players. So then instead of kicking a field goal, which I thought, hey, just kick a field goal right there, they're like, oh no, we're gonna go for 2. And I'm thinking this could have been an opportunity for like Zane Gonzalez to come in or Jake Moody to come in again.
Yeah.
It was only 21-20. They definitely kept us on the edge of our seats.
I mean, if that's the regular season, we don't win that ball game. Let's be real. We didn't deserve to win that ball game. I think we could all walk away with saying, like we didn't deserve. I'd rather talk kicker than quarterback.
I agree 100%.
So at the end of the day, I mean, so Jason Bryant, what do you do with Jake Moody then?
You got to let him get into the field goal and kick during the stadium when no one's there. When Taylor Swift isn't singing, he needs to get in there.
As far as you're not keeping Zane Gonzalez over him, right?
No.
I mean, they literally have not given the man an opportunity to. How are you going to say it's a kicker competition when you haven't given the other kicker one single opportunity to kick a field goal? Jake Moody's going to have the job. This is the one thing I said. He makes them in practice, but I have said he's not hitting them down the middle in practice. They have had slight hooks to him. So I don't know if it's mishitting the ball. I don't know what it is, but I don't believe that Jake Moody's going to be a bust. I mean, Jake Moody's going to be a bust because Josh McDaniels iced him twice in a preseason game in Las Vegas. Like I've seen that floated out there that shattered his confidence, and now he's never going to gain his confidence back because he missed 2 kicks in a preseason game. Are you fucking kidding me? I think. Look, is he going to be Robbie Gould? No. Is it going to be Mr. Automatic? No. But honestly, I bet you if you put a gun to Kyle's head, he'd be like, I don't give a shit. As long as it's not costing us football games, you think Kyle cares? No. When did Kyle start caring about special teams? When it started costing him football games in 2021. Right? Can we all agree with that? Kyle started caring about special teams when it cost us 2 games against the Sheepcocks in 2021. That probably cost us the division.
I still don't think he really cares. I really don't. I think since we've had him, we've had Kyle. He had Robbie Gould. Robbie Gould was pretty solid. And you can't really say he doesn't care about special teams because then they went and drafted.
Of course he cares.
But I know I said it, and because I kind of have he doesn't pay too much attention to it. But he did go ahead, his defense, he did go ahead and draft Mitch Wisnowski, 4th round punter, really good punter. And he has done some stuff. It seems like we do have a good good team, so he doesn't see a good coaching staff for the special team, so it doesn't seem like he gets too involved. But I don't think he's watching the kickoff. I don't think he's watching the field goal. I think he's looking for the next play. So
I guarantee you, while the ball's getting kicked off, he's looking at the call sheet. Talking to the quarterbacks or talking to the coaches upstairs or whatever. Kyle didn't even watch the kickoff. I guarantee you he doesn't. The field goal, he might. He might watch the field goal, but I doubt he watches the kickoff. Kyle's admitted. Kyle just wanted to draft a punter and draft a kicker and not think about it for the next 10 years.
Yep.
Like that's all Kyle wants to do. Like, let me draft my kicker, let me draft my punter, and just not think about it for the next 10 years. And so I think that and you know what? I give Kyle props because what does Kyle say? Hey, I'm not smart enough to know what's wrong with my kicker. I don't have my how many coaches will we see that would legitly try to get involved and try to screw with things and everything like that. David McNiner, I'm with you. I do not understand. I understand why, because the Taylor Swift concert, but that's what I'm doing. Fuck him lining up in practice. Okay, I've seen them do the field goal shit at practice. That ain't real. That's bullshit. Bring his ass into Levi Stadium and just say, Jake, for the next hour, all you're going to do is kick balls in this stadium.
I guarantee you Robbie Gould would have set up and started practicing during that Taylor Swift concert. He wouldn't have given a damn.
Yeah, he would have not given two shits.
He'd gone right up there.
Robbie's so gangster, bro.
Hey, but
I want to shake his hand and just tell him the most gangster shit ever was him just kicking there while the Yams cheerleaders were coming off the field. Wasn't that the NFC Championship game?
Yeah.
Oh God, that was just like my favorite Robbie Gould moment ever. Besides that, and then Jimmy G just coming up to him, way to go, Robbie. Fuck the Packers. With his little Chicago accent. Fuck the Packers. I'll never forget that.
I really like Robbie Gould, and I really did like how he handled himself. He could kind of tell the team a little bit more. He had veteran status. He was older than Kyle. How you gonna tell? Yeah. I'm not going to bed yet, Kyle. Everybody, team lights out. No, not
you're not
me.
my real dad.
You're not my real dad. No, we shall play Jason's favorite audio right here. Though.
Same old sorry ass man. So long.
Yeah.
Same old sorry ass man.
Yeah. Can't wait to play that week too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But no, I think you're right. He definitely wanted to get special teams taken out, so he doesn't have to worry about them. It's I don't think there's really a kicker competition. I think if Jake Moody really falls flat, they have Zane. But he does need to get into the stadium and start kicking. And kicking 100 times, or I don't know how many times he can kick before you get leg fatigue. We know about arm fatigue, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but guess what? You know what? If I was Coach Schneider, I'm finding out how many fucking kicks it takes my kicker's leg to get leg fatigue. Yeah, we gonna learn today, boy. That's exactly what I'm telling Jake. We gonna learn today. I think he's fine. I mean, how about this? Score in the red zones and field goals don't fucking matter. How about that? Score touchdowns in the red zones and field goals don't matter. Blow teams out. That's why. You know what? I really do believe. Like I said when I came on your show, Brian. I believe Kyle's gonna think that a kicker is not gonna be that that important. Besides the Cry Girl game. How important was Robbie Gould last year? Besides the Raider game and the Cry Girl game, how important was Robbie Gould? And let's not forget that game only goes into overtime because Robbie misses a field goal. So let's not act like Robbie Gould was nails.
No, but he was pretty damn good.
Look, I give a fuck how many field goals he missed in the regular season. I wanted Robbie Gould because I knew he was money when it mattered the most.
I think he only missed 2 kicks last year. I don't think he missed.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too many. Was. I'm not saying like Robbie Gould was, but
he had one block.
I will say this about Robbie Gould: would I have had a problem if they brought Robbie Gould back this year? No, I would have had zero problem. But I will say this: I will use to the day I die. I will use the Bill Walsh mentality. It's better to get rid of a player a year early than a year too late.
Yep.
And Father Time is undefeated. So Father Time will catch up. So I mean, let's be real. The reason we almost lost that game was because Jake Moody missed the extra point. But only other issue I saw was okay. Well, we'll go through good, bad. My bad. I didn't really see too many bad besides whoever muffed that punt. I forget who it was. Well, yeah, that's why we loved him. Who I don't really have any bad. The good I would say is Colin Farrell. I thought he showed up fine. If you told me based off of what we've seen this year in the preseason, who should start up at the end opposite Nick Bosa, I think he should start over Drake Jackson. What have we seen from Drake Jackson? We've seen more from Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
I think that honestly, Colin Farrell. Now, talk to me. Week 15. Is it a concern if it's not Drake Jackson? Yeah, I think that later on in the season, Drake should take that job. But paging Javon Kinlaw, I didn't necessarily. I mean, was he even on the field Sunday? I know he was.
I think he was sick, wasn't he?
I didn't see Kinlaw. I
think he was sick.
I did not see Kinlaw either. So I thought maybe that's just because, okay, have we ever really noticed Kinlaw?
I see
I
none. I
don't particularly remember seeing him. So, okay, then I'll take them out. But my good with the asterisk, Ronnie Bell. I think Ronnie Bell's going to make this football team. I really do. I know Bryant. I discussed this with Bryant at the game on Saturday, but I think he makes it over Danny Gray.
Well, Danny Gray's hurt right now. He's probably going to be gone for a month or so with his shoulder injury, I think is what it is.
Oh, is it a shoulder? I know that Kyle said that they thought it was a possible collarbone, but they couldn't tell in x-rays at the stadium. So he was getting x-rays.
I don't think he's going to even be available for first month, maybe.
Can't make the club if you're in the tub. So, I mean, because we know what Danny Gray can do, but have we seen?
Do we?
That's a good point. We know he can run deep, but we haven't seen
I mean, have we seen it? Because I've seen Ronnie Bell make plays. I've seen Ronnie Bell make plays consistently. Where's Danny Gray making those plays?
All I've known he's done since he's come to the team, he's been on our team twice. Yeah, for 2 years, I believe now. He went from 86 to 6. And I haven't seen him since he went from 86 to 6. Okay.
Let's be real. The reason faithful know Danny Gray was because he caught that bomb against the Whackers last year from Trey.
Yeah.
That's been Danny Gray's career so far. And coming out the tunnel with Debo and Trent Williams. That's basically what we've known with Danny Gray. And I don't want to knock Danny Gray. I don't want to say he's a bust or anything like that, but just what? So you've got, okay, Kayvon missed game due to illness. Figured. Okay. So, what you got? Debo, B.A., Juwan Jennings. Ray's making it unless he starts on PUP or something like that.
He won't be back until probably.
But he still has to make the 53 in order to kick it on
53.
PUP. So that's 4.
I think Kyle said they're only keeping 5.
So they're only keeping 5?
Yeah.
So that has to be because it's either Ronnie Bell, Willie Snead, or Tay Martin. And right now I'm taking Ronnie Bell. Jason, Bryant, your thoughts?
Go, Bryant.
My 6 wide receivers, I don't know. If he takes 5, okay. But my 6 until the injuries say they're not on the team, it would be Debo, Ayuk, Jennings. I like Ronnie Bell, Ray, and Danny Gray. Those are mine. And I think Danny Gray, and because Ray had their accidents, their injuries, I think that puts them at a disadvantage. I think the new guy definitely making the team is going to be Bell.
Yeah. I think he showed enough to definitely warrant a spot on the team. Maybe, really, honestly, I think this is Ray's last year on his deal, right?
He's like, what, 30 years? He's got 3 years for his deal because he wasn't a
3
first
years.
round.
Okay, so he's got one more. I wonder what the cap hit would be if we cut him next year, because I could see give Danny Gray a year of development, a year to get a little bit stronger and everything like that. I can see him taking Ray's spot.
Why not give it to Snead or Conley or one of those guys. I have more confidence in them.
Conley.
I have more confidence
Conley.
because they're showing up a whole lot more than Danny Gray is. I would take a chance with those guys over Danny Gray right now.
Yeah. I mean,
Conley's what, number 17?
Yeah.
He was playing good. He was really playing good. Both.
I like that catch he had on the sideline. Keeping his toes in from Trey. That was a beautiful throw. That was a beautiful catch. Like, I like how our receivers have shown up in camp and during the throw the Raider game out. But I liked how our team shows up. I'm definitely fired up. I wonder how much. Let me see. So we got Shaq the Max the first. What?
Nope.
Oh,
my
go
bad.
ahead, Jason. Let's hear it. Simon, Gray, Bell, McLeod. Coney and Miller go back to the. Yeah. So what you put Ray and Danny Gray on PUP, and then just have a handshake deal with Conley and
Miller,
Miller, and say don't leave your cell phone. Basically, we're going to give you a call in a few hours. Anything else? I can't really think of anything else that really jumped out at me from Saturday.
I will say this: that, yes, we did win, but to me, the best part of the whole game was the fact that towards the end, you got Trey going down there, finishing the game, all that kind of good stuff. Not only that, but with I almost think like with Latu got his confidence back. Maybe he starts popping up now. Trey got his confidence with all that stuff. Moody getting some confidence with making that his first ever game-winning kick. That's pretty impressive for someone who's played at the big house for quite a long time. So I like the way in general the game ended because yes, it's preseason, but you want that type of pressure and the guys to succeed. So to me, even though, especially with the people who were succeeding at the end, TDP with breaking that run and getting it down there.
He looked real good.
All of that to me is positive things because that's what a lot of these, especially these younger players, needed was that, hey, let's go. Time to play. And for some of them, is you and me calling a lot too, like, hey man, are you going to make it? Tons of other people have been calling for a lot too. The negativity towards Trey, the negativity towards Jake Moody, TDP, all those guys showing up at the end, to me, is one of the best things that happened for the ending of that game. Yeah,
I totally agree with you, Jason. See, everybody asks, like, why do you watch the preseason and everything like that? It's for stories like Cameron Latu. It's for exactly what happened to Cameron Latu. Is that you see this young man. I mean, let's be real. Like, he's probably 22, 23 years old. He's a young man. Who's had his dreams right there in grasp and has struggled. But to see him overcome that, and the thing that makes me so happy and why I love this team is why did BA get that penalty? Because he was celebrating with his teammates. Because he was just as fired up as Cameron Latu and Trey were. And that's why I love the preseason is because to me, this is sometimes when you see the best football because you're seeing people who are fighting for their dream. You're not seeing players who have already made it or whatever like that. But that's the Cap Man, right? Yeah, the Cap Man. We got to get you on the show because there's some
John.
Yeah.
Jason Hurley's the Cap Man.
Yeah.
John's a great guy. He's been on my show. We did an interview a couple weeks ago. John.
My bad, John. No, because I want to get that Cap guy because there's actually I think that having a good Cap show to explain some of the cap and everything would actually be a really good offseason.
Yeah, Jason's cool.
A dead period conversation, Jason. I think that would be a real good dead period next year type of conversation to go over some cap. I think that's that about wraps it. Bryant, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you and all that good jazz.
Well, once again, thanks for having me on. It's always fun talking Niner football. Guys, man, appreciate it. You guys are always welcome. It's always fun to talk with people, that are passionate about the team and, just you can clearly see it. You guys are fans. You guys are knowledgeable fans, so it makes it fun for me to be able to come on and talk. The one thing I wanted to ask you before I got out, and you've been to a lot more games than I have, but could you tell the crowd? Could you tell me a little bit? Our chat, what the energy was like in the stadium. How would you rate it? Because when I went,
I think that was fine for preseason. That was towards the end. It got a little. Look, I will tell you the moment, the first moment where I really, really, really felt like Levi's came alive was 2018 when we beat the Seahawks, when we ended the streak against the Seahawks. But the first real packed house, it felt like was against when Dante Pettis caught the game-winning touchdown against Pittsburgh. And I remember looking at my co-host and I said, "Bro, I thought I was a candlestick." And I was like when I heard that crowd, I still get chills right now thinking about it. The loudest I've ever heard Levi's was NFC Championship game. Like I've never been in a louder stadium. The best game I felt like I went to where I was like, hey, we brought it from start to finish. Like this was a good game. Was that Monday night we lost against the Seahawks in 2019, our first loss. And that was probably the first real world moment where I was like, all right, this stadium is this is legit. Like this stadium is. So, I mean, it was fine for a preseason.
The reason I'm asking
Bryant, I am so excited. I'm so excited to take you out. I'm telling you, bro, you got to come to the row. You got to come to the row. Don't go to the Red Zone Rally. Hey, cool, lifetime. You got to come to the row with me for the home opener, bro. I'm telling you, you're going to have the time of your life, bro. Especially for the home opener.
Definitely.
If you go into that stadium for the home opener, it's going to change your life, bro. Like, I'm telling you, nothing's like.
I went to the home opener about 2 years ago against the Packers. It was the game we just lost it at the end.
21.
21, 22, something like that. Yeah. And it was a lot of fun. And the crowd was really energetic there too. And they got loud, but there was points in the game and stuff like that. Maybe there was just more Packer fans there. I don't really want to say it like that, but where I was sitting, there was a bunch of green. So I was sitting pretty high. I was like in 400, 415 or something.
Packer fans travel.
But yes, they travel very well. And maybe that was the reason the crowd wasn't so energetic or loud, because the Packer fans were kind of neutralizing it. And it really sucked because the guy behind me, every time, something happened, he was like, okay, watch, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to throw an interception. And damn it, he came out and he did it. And the guy behind me just started laughing. He's like, I called it. I was like, oh my God. So, but that stadium, that event was a lot of fun. But for the preseason game, maybe it was because I was closer to the field. Maybe I was just more jazzed. I don't know. I think this game had a lot of energy, even though the stadium wasn't really completely crowded. And the other game I went to was a 2014 game against the Jaguars, and Blaine Gabbert was the quarterback. So I'm like, it just, maybe it was because it was cold. It was December, but this game.
Well, I mean, also
Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah,
Blaine Gabbert. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm telling you, bro, that the faithful will get it rocking. The faithful will get it rocking. All right, Bryant. Well, thank you so much for coming on, bro. Like I said, I owe you a couple beers, bro. Thursday. We're gonna get this. No, I'm not gonna hear no. I'm not gonna it's gonna happen. We're gonna have the time of our lives. I'm telling you, Thursday's gonna be cracking, bro. We'll probably you know what? I'm gonna holler at you. We're gonna see if we can do the pregame show that together that day.
We'll try to figure something out. But thanks again, guys, for having me on, and I'll see you guys. Anytime, just let me know. I'll be here.
Thank you, man. Of course. I'll be showing up to you guys and stuff on Fridays and Saturdays. I love the Saturday morning talks, man.
Hey,
that's good.
I'll pop in as soon as for a couple minutes until the wifey starts to, tell me that I need to handle business.
Any minutes I got with you guys is appreciated. You guys have a good day. Stay faithful.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, of course, brother. All right, bro. Thanks, Bryant, for coming on this show. Jason, pop up the thing. So, all right. I wasn't gonna waste Bryant's time with this and everything like that, but I'm gonna take a little bit of moment to pump out my chest a little bit like that. But your boy is officially the Niners Supporters Club Fan of the Month for August. Big shout out to Amber. Thank you so much for getting this out and for interviewing me and choosing me. If you would have told I was actually telling Jason off air a story of So my mother, I posted this on my Facebook and everything. It's blasted everywhere. It's in the descriptions, all that. Please go check it out. But I remember specifically my mama commenting. She was like, congratulations, son. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, well, is it a waste of my time now, mama? And I remember distinctly a preseason game that I got my ass whooped because I said I didn't want to go to my grandma and grandpa's house because they weren't going to watch the Niner game, and I wanted to watch the Niner game, and I got my ass whooped and told that I was still going to my grandma's house. But if you could have told that little boy that was crying in his room because his ass hurt that he would be the 49er fan of the month for August, look at that sexy little kid right there. God, I looked so handsome when I was a little kid.
You were a chubby little kid, man.
I was, bro. I was chunky. I was a chunky kid. Yeah, for those who don't know, that is actually legitly like my sister. Yeah, look at all these pictures though. Man, that was 2019. That was the night before the home opener in 2019. That's me and Bubby in Denver. That's in Denver. Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. If you would have told that's the Yams game when we Fred Warner picked 6 against the Yams a couple days before Christmas 2019. That was that game. That's actually that one where I'm with the cheerleaders. It's funny because that's actually at a gay pride event. I went with my homeboy. He's like, "Bro, come out to pride with me." So I was like, "All right, whatever." And they happened to have the Niners cheerleaders there, so I was like, "Oh shit!" But yeah,
I'm
I'm
low-key a little disappointed there wasn't pictures of us from last season.
Oh damn! You never sent them to me, motherfucker.
You
You
were
never
on
sent me
Facebook.
them.
Just steal them off Facebook. They were all over.
I actually didn't even think about that, bro. My bad. Damn, I feel
Okay.
I feel hella bad now. I feel hella bad. Now for real. So like honestly, bro, I want to tell everybody like I know this is me and I'm CEO, I'm founder, I'm the one pushing NFR, but like really without Jamie, without Jason, without Brian, without Kim, y'all encouraging me, y'all supporting me, telling me to keep going. Like, y'all wouldn't even know how many times Kim's had to talk me off the ledge. You don't know how many times I was ready to message everybody that I was done with NFR. And Kim's talked me off, especially Kim. Like, y'all don't know the conversations Jason and I have had. You don't know the conversations Jamie and I have had. So I say this is Niner Faithful Radio as August 49er Supporter Club Fan of the Month. Man, this is a dream come true. And like, sure, I mean, this isn't like that big of a deal. Like, it's only going to be up for a couple. Well, it's going to stay up, but I'm only the fan of the month for a couple of days. But if you would have told that 10-year-old or 8 or however the hell old I was that he was that little kid right there, if you would have told that little kid that he was going to be the 49er fan of the month one day, man, that little kid would have been so juiced. That little kid that would have made his life if you would have told him that he would have been able to do a lot of the things that pick those cheeks. That actually, what's funny? That kind of didn't even look. My sister looks the same, but I really don't. That didn't even really look like me. That's so
I see it.
Look at that! Look at that fucking 90s ass flat top. I didn't even choose my haircut back in the day, but yeah, that was my Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Any final thoughts, Jason?
No, just excited for this week's game. We're almost through with the preseason. We'll be, getting
starters are
ready
going to play.
Yep, starters probably a quarter. I would assume, maybe
quarter. Yeah, I don't think they'll play the half. I almost said Brunskill. Why I can't think of his name right now? Brendel said that they think about 15 to 20 plays. Yeah. So. That's going to be nice to you, Jason.
Well, knowing the way Kyle runs the offense the way he wants to, he's going to try and run it everything and all that kind of stuff. So, that'll take us until the second quarter.
I have not caught their show.
I have caught their show.
I have not caught their show. Yeah, any of the ladies of the Empire, man, y'all want to come on, please. Let Jason, I know. Jason, most likely if you're going to hit us up through the show's social media, most likely be Jason you talk to. But hit me up on, especially you, David. I know I have you on Facebook. I went and added Bryant, and I added you both on Facebook. Y'all hit me up. I have absolutely zero problem.
I have seen their show quite. I'm usually when their show is on, I'm actually busy doing stuff, but I usually have them playing in the background. But it's just all the ladies in there talking their thing. They have a really good show too. They have a good time with their stuff too. It's a really good show.
Man, I specifically, I've always said women football fans fire me up as somebody who one day had planned until things changed. I planned to give my daughter NFR one day. You feel me? So I'm all about. I specifically hired Jamie because she was a woman, and I wanted women to work for NFR. My number 2 is a woman. So women football fans fire me up. So especially women, if you want to come on NFR, please, because any faithful is welcome on NFR, bro. We do not discriminate. But all right, bro. We'll go ahead and I'm assuming you're doing halftime this week.
Of course, I'll definitely do it because it's Friday. Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
So I don't know. Since it's Friday, I may do a whole watch party. Depends on how I'm feeling, or not necessarily a watch party, but I might do a whole whole game kind of thing. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you everybody who showed up. Make sure you guys show up to all these guys' other show. Bryant, Arcash, John J, David McNiner, Corey Davis, Tony does hers. I'm trying to remember who else showed up in here. Just go through everybody. Make sure you
Catcast.
Yeah, Carcast. The Shaw Show.
Carcast.
Got him. Yep. So I mean, I'm loving seeing this community that's starting to go on. We're starting to show up at each other's shows and all that kind of stuff. I love seeing that with everybody. So, like I said, everybody just keep showing up to everybody's shows. We'll just keep it going around the table.
I was gonna one more thing before I let you go, Bryant and I decided you're coming out to that game here next year. Bryant and I are already discussed it. We already discussed it, bro. You're coming out to the game next year.
Maybe next year, not this year. This year, not gonna.
That's why I said next year. That's what I was like. We already discussed it. You're coming out to.
Oh yeah,
game
I'm
next
down.
Year, bro. All right, y'all. All right, brother. We'll see you next week. Oh, wait, my bad. All right, y'all. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for Bryant, David McNiner, Carcast, everybody that showed up. Thank y'all. Bebop Jones. All y'all, thank y'all so much. The support for the channel has definitely been going up. We're feeling the love. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week. But before we get out of here, of course, we got to remind everybody, help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link will be in the description of the video or podcast. Go ahead and go to seatgiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, Twitter at Niner Faithful Art. Jason does a bang-up job holding down our social. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. And, of course, the special coupon code for Season 2 for the Faithful by the Faithful apparel is "And the Quest." All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I'll probably do a little pregame on Friday. You of course will have Jason doing a halftime show. I might do a post-game show. We'll see, but we'll definitely be back on Tuesday to go ahead and review the game and to give final 53, all that fun type of stuff. Follow in IG. Oh, thanks, bro. We appreciate it. All right, y'all. We shall see y'all next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
Weiss has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana. Touchdown, John Taylor.
See ya.